Good day, and welcome to day 4 on Far Striders. Now, if you watched yesterday's videos, you will note that I called yesterday day 4. I was having seniors moment because I went through most of yesterday thinking it was Thursday. It wasn't, of course, so today is actually day 4. Anyway, we had some auctions sell overnight. We've bought some stuff this morning. We're sitting at 827 gold, and I just spent about 40, well, a little less than that, like 35 gold or something. If you remember yesterday, there was a guy selling strange dust, and he had stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of it at just a ridiculously low price. He basically had the only strange dust on the auction house, and bean counter here. Here we are. I bought it all out this morning. I don't understand his pricing. He had it set at 249 per dust. Disenchanting, you take things like weapons and armor and you disenchant them, and depending on what level the armor or weapon is, you get a different type of material. Strange dust is the very low end of the market. So when you disenchant, let's say, a pair of leather boots, you have a chance of getting, at the low end, you have a chance of getting strange dust, and the number you get is kind of random as well. Usually 2 or 3, sometimes it can be as many as 5. So let's say that he's disenchanting stuff at the low level and he's getting lucky and getting 5. That means that you have to disenchant 4 somethings, 4 pair of boots, 4 robes, 4 something to get your 20 strange dust. I can't imagine what you would be disenchanting to be able to turn around and sell at 249 per dust at a profit. I can't imagine what it is. And even if you could make a profit, it doesn't make sense to price this way. Let's say that you're getting strange dust free. Let's say that every night you go to bed and the strange dust fairy comes and leaves strange dust under your pillow. It still wouldn't make sense to sell it at this price. The next highest, and actually someone's already undercut me, but they've undercut me by a small amount. I can live with that. The next highest when I was here was at this 245. That's maybe, this is a bit high maybe, but let's just say that you were to undercut by a lot. Let's say that you posted your strange dust at 1 gold apiece. Now he has to be nearly 50 stacks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, darn near 50 stacks he had. So let's say that you're selling at your price. Your price is 2 silver 49, which means you're making 49 silver 80 per stack of 20 strange dust. We'll round it to 50 so that it is easier to work with. So let's say that you've got 50 stacks. You sell each stack at 50 silver. It means you make 25 gold. If instead of dumping all of this on the auction house at once for a ridiculously low price, you instead put, let's say that you put 3 stacks of 20 on the auction house, pricing at 20 gold per stack. Well, that's 60 gold. So you've made more selling 3 stacks than you would selling 50 stacks. Anyway, I watched this yesterday, and most of it was still there today, and I decided that the risk was worth it. It was, like I said, under 40 gold to just buy him out completely. So that's what I did. I bought out every piece of strange dust on the auction house below the 245 level. And then I went and posted mine at 240. Now, there's one stack here that has undercut me. It's a full stack. Any given day, I would expect at least a few of these are going to sell, so I'm not going to worry about changing my pricing up. Anyway, that's a little off track. It's just what was going on this morning, and I guess I felt like sharing. I couldn't understand what he was doing, and it irritated me, and it irritated me to the point that I made the decision to spend the 40 gold to buy him out. Even if over the course of the next couple of weeks I only sell 5 or 6 of these stacks and I throw all of the rest of them away, I'll still have made a profit, so I'm not worried about it. And it may actually turn out to be a really good thing that he was giving it away. And to me, that's he might as well have been standing on the steps of the bank in Stormwind, giving out free strange dust. But enough of my rant, and back on track with Auctionator. Okay, so Auctionator added these 3 tabs to our auction house: buy, sell, and more. The sell tab is yet again another alternate way of selling. Basically, you would drag something over to it. You have one stack of 1. It's suggesting a price of 93 silver because it wants to undercut this. Well, I'm not even willing to sell at this price, so we're not going to let it do that. You set your hour duration here. It defaults to 12 hours. And it tells you what the deposit cost is. I don't use that tab. All of my sales are done using the appraiser tab. So we're not going to be looking at that one. Well, I guess we just did, I suppose. You have buy and more, and these are the ones that we're actually going to be using. The more tab is a way of looking at your own auctions to see whether or not you have been undercut. So if we look at Briarthorn, you can see that I bought that stack of 20 yesterday, and I bought it for 5 gold 20 something. I placed it on the auction house in groups of 5 at 1 gold 50 a piece, or 7 gold 50 per stack. I have been undercut, though the stack sizes that are undercutting me are not logical stack sizes. Oh, my enchant vellums are selling. So we sold some linen and some stacks of enchant vellum. Excellent. Okay, so stack sizes. There are 2 things that drive the herbalism market. You have alchemy, and you have inscription. Inscription is probably the biggest driver. It takes a lot of herbs to make glyphs. So, as an inscriptionist, you would buy herbs that you are going to mill to make inks. It takes 5 herbs to mill to make X number of pigments, and then the pigments turn into inks. So you want to be buying in stacks that are divisible by 5. And depending on how many you need, you may only want 1 stack of 5. The stack of 6, the stack of 8, 6, 6, these ones make no sense to an inscriptionist. They don't want to have extra loose herbs kicking around, especially like 1. I actually have an inscriptionist on one of the servers I play, and I know that it takes up so much bag space to to have the glyphs that you're making and the herbs that you need. When you mill herbs, you want it to completely turn into pigments that you completely turn into inks. You don't want to have one herb left over. So as an inscriptionist, I would not buy these stacks. The only way I would buy them would be if they were the only ones on the auction house, or their prices were so much cheaper than everything else, or if that one extra herb would complete a stack for me. So when you're choosing stack sizes for herbs, it is best to go with 5s, 10s, and 20s. You want things that are divisible by 5 because that is what inscriptionists need. So anyway, even though I have been undercut, I would be willing to believe that someone would come buy one of my stacks of 5 at 1 gold 50 before they would buy this stack of 6 at 82 silver. So I would leave things as is. Anyway, Auctionator gives you a quick way of looking at where your auctions. It also gives you a quick way of buying, and that was definitely a buy. So it shows me here that my auctions are not the cheapest on the auction house. You'll see that I've been undercut 3 stacks of 20. Again, you have someone who's selling in stacks of 5. I honestly don't know if you would really be able to. I suppose when someone is leveling jewel crafting, prospecting low-end ore would give you some skill ups, I suppose. There might be some market for this, but I really think that the stacks of 20 make more sense. You're feeding not only jewel crafting, but blacksmithing and engineering as well. Maybe they are eking out an existence at this. I just think stacks of 20 make more sense. So if I look at it in that sense, there are 6 stacks of 20 which are cheaper than mine. Server time is just a little bit after noon, so I'm not really worried about the number of stacks that have undercut me. I'm comfortable with leaving it. Now, if I did want to cancel it, Auctionator also gives you the opportunity. All you'd have to do is come down here, click on Cancel Auctions. A confirmation window would come up. I wonder if there's anything here that we're actually maybe going to look at canceling. I'm going to think no. Even the strange dust, I've been undercut, but I'm going to leave it anyway. Anyway, it would give you an easy way of canceling, just as you saw me very quickly buy that small stack of copper ore. It would be the same idea. The other thing you can do is you can actually click on the red tab down here and have it check all of your auctions. So we'll just let it run through this. And what it's going to do is it's going to individually go through and look at each of your auctions without you having to click on each one of them. Once it completes that, it will give you the option to either leave them on the auction house or to cancel them. I always make the decision to cancel them because there are some things that I know I am not the lowest price on the auction house, and I don't want to be the lowest price on the auction house. So if you look at it, my Briarthorn has been undercut, my copper has, my enchant vellums have, which is kind of strange since I just sold one. I'm guessing that there are smaller stacks. And we'll have a look at that. Enchant vellums. Yeah, and that's why mine sold. It's rare, I think, that someone is going to want to buy 2 enchant vellums. 5s maybe have a chance of selling. I don't sell in anything other than stacks of 20, and mine sold, and theirs is still there. So someone was willing to pay more for mine to get the stack size that they wanted, and that's one of the things that we'll use as a way of making gold. My light leather, you can see that I've been undercut. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 stacks of light leather which are lower priced than mine. Well, if I were going to start undercutting these stacks of 20, Well, this is the lowest one, so I guess I'd be pricing down there somewhere. Yeah, and I have no interest in selling down at that price at this point, so we wouldn't do anything with that. And you can see all these ones with check marks mean that I have the lowest price on the auction house. Now this is a recipe, so these ones I'm willing to play with a little bit. Not by cutting my price in half, though. So that I would just leave. Small eggs, these were bought. These weren't bought. These were farmed yesterday in Westfall. And this was an example of passive farming. The flesh rippers that fly around Westfall drop these. And we obviously killed enough to get 20 eggs yesterday. Actually, a little bit more than that, because I think I have more eggs in my bags, don't I? Yeah, I have 17 more. So I've killed a few of those flesh rippers. So in terms of that, my gatherer is still questing in Westfall, and he's reached the point in his quests that he has reached one of the areas where we're going to be farming. So we'll be with him later today at some point in one of the better farming locations in Westfall. Anyway, that is basically the More tab. It gives you a very quick way of looking at your auctions, whether or not you've been undercut. Once you look at the being undercut, like these here, these eggs, priced a lot less than mine. At this point, I could make the decision to buy them out, or I could make the decision to cancel my auctions and repost, all done within the same interface, which is really convenient. And it gives you a very quick way of looking at all of your auctions and knowing where you're at. So that's the More tab. The other tab that we have is this one, which is the Buy tab. This allows you to create lists of different things that you want to watch on the auction house. Enchant mats, for example, is one of the ones I've created. So you can see that there is one stack of 20, which it also shows you where your own auctions are. So also in this tab, I can see where mine are. I can also cancel from within here. But this one is actually used more for things that you know sell well that you want to look at the possibility of buying. Greater Eternal Essence. On most of the servers I play, this is very volatile. Right now, the lowest is 25, and that's kind of the high end of the market. It's not uncommon to come in here and see them maybe listed for 10 gold or 15 gold. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to be looking for. I mean, this first week we spent quite a bit of time out in the field farming. That's going to slow down further and further to where the farming is really just going to be something that we do almost to pass time, because we'll be making enough gold on the auction house that it just won't be worth the time investment for farming at that point. We'll still continue to look at some farming spots, but at that point, really beginning next week, most of our time is going to be spent in the auction house. To create one of these shopping lists, because these don't come preloaded, you have to create them. You click on the New Shopping List tab there. So the ones I've got now, I have enchant mats and herbs and metals and miscellaneous. What else might we want to be looking at? Leather. Okay, and then light leather. Okay, so you'll see here is my stack, and here's what's available. Now, we've been selling light leather for a while, so I know that that's actually a really good price. Even some of these ones, I mean, if we look at bean counter, Well, I mean, I've bought for a lot cheaper, but my sales, I started out in this 94 range, and I went up to 149, 194. So 194 is the range that we're at right now. So at some point, I'm not going to be out skinning animals anymore to get leather. So at that point, what I'm going to need to be doing is I'm going to be needing to find leather on the auction house, either light leather or ruined leather scraps. Let me just add this to the shopping list here. And there are none available right now. And do I have any? I have some in my bags. Let's just confirm, because sometimes my spelling's terrible. Yeah, there are none available. And we're going to go ahead and add that to our list as well. And basically, this is things that we know that we want to sell, and we're going to watch the prices. And over the next few days, even while I'm still doing a fair amount of farming, I'm going to be in the auction house more, watching things like this. Add that to the list. And this is what you would do. You would create buy lists. So right now, the lists I have are cloth, enchant mats, herbs, leather, ore, what else? Food. Tangy clam meat. And you would do that with you want to try and keep the number of things that you're watching down. So you want to pick some things like the herb market, the ore market, leathers. Basically, I tend to concentrate on trade goods. There are other things, like if you look at what I have under my watch list miscellaneous, I have righteous orbs, which on my home server right now, these would be steals, because on my home server right now, these are worth between 60 and 100 gold. But then the enchant is also worth more. It's worth more in the 300 to 400 gold range. So this may be that this server has more people who are going and farming righteous orbs in I can't think of the instance name. And I was just talking to someone about it last night. Nope. Senior moment. Can't think of it. Anyway, the instance where these are farmed. There's one side of it, the human side, that every time you run it, you're almost guaranteed one, and sometimes you'll get as many as 3 or 4. Scholomance. Anyway, so I've got a couple of things here. Basically, I would suggest that you certainly start with the trade goods, and I recommend that you look at the low-level stuff. I mean, we don't have enough gold. Even at 827 gold, at this point, I don't have enough to be buying like bars of Titan steel or true gold or any of the high-end mats. So at this point, what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to be looking at low-end mats. And even once I have more gold, some of these are things that I'm still going to be trading in. Cloth, wool is usually a very good deal. I bought wool this morning, and you'll see it here. Lowest on the auction house right now is 2 gold 24. I bought at 34 silver, 18 silver, 18 silver. So I'm going to go ahead while I'm thinking of it and throw some of that on the auction house. Now, I have not been following this. Market price seen 50 times, 27 silver. Well, I'm not pricing at 27 silver. 2 gold 25 sounds like a good price point to me. And what's his? Even that. 165. Even if someone bought me at my bid price, I'd still be making enough. And I don't want all, I want all full stacks. There we go. Anyway, that is Auctionator. The combination of Auctioneer and Auctionator is going to be how we make gold after this initial week. I'm still out in the field farming. I'm going to be out there farming today. There are a couple places that I want to show you in Westfall, but beginning next week, farming is really not going to play a big role in gold making. It's gotten us now to the, well, I'm 170 gold basically away from the first 1,000. The 9,000 that we need after that to reach 10,000, that's going to come from working the auction house. And this was just sort of an introduction to those two programs, and you're going to see them in use a whole lot next week because most of the videos are going to be about what we're doing in the auction house. Anyway, we have reached 27 minutes, so I'm going to end this now. I will be back later today with a video about farming in Westfall. And probably there will be one late tonight about how we're doing in the auction house. Hopefully by then some of that strange dust will have sold and we will have made back the 40 gold that we invested in buying out the auction house. Now that's unless Buddy actually does have the strange dust fairy coming and leaving strange dust under his pillow. I just can't picture that anyone has more strange dust than he already did. But that's yet to be seen. A little bit of a risk, but I think it was worth it, and we will see whether or not I was right. So I will see you again later today.